Well, good Sunday morning from the trail. My second Sunday on the trail. Struggling this morning. Boy, I did something last night to my right knee. It was killing me at the end of the trail last night before I got to the shelter. I've got 2.7, or I had 2.7 down into the town of Hot Springs. I'm about a mile probably now. It's killing me on the downhills. It doesn't hurt on the flats, or doesn't hurt much on the uphills, but the downhills. Whew. I had already planned to take a long Nero in Hot Springs today. It might stretch into a long Nero and a zero if it doesn't start feeling better. There's no way I can do miles on the trail like this. I had a good day yesterday, but I hiked way too far, pushed myself way too hard. I went 30.2 miles over a stretch that's so hilly. It's like Georgia on steroids. It's my own fault. I didn't listen to my body. At about 26 miles, it started to hurt, and I thought, I'll just keep stretching it and it'll be fine, but it just got progressively worse. So I'm going to take some ibuprofen, I'm going to ice it, I'm going to rest it, see how it feels at the end of the day and tomorrow morning, and at that point decide if I'm going to have to rest another day or even do something more drastic. I admit I'm frustrated this morning, but I believe this is the Lord's way of telling me, Robert, you got to slow down. You're not 20 years old. You're 58 years old, and you can't hike like a 20-year-old. Yeah, you're capable of doing those kinds of miles, but at what cost? So I'm praying for wisdom and discernment, and honestly, I'm praying for a trail family. So maybe this is my way of slowing my miles down enough that I can get a trail family, and maybe that'll perk things up as well. It's a beautiful morning. Cool. It's probably in the mid-50s. Slight breeze, and it just feels really nice. So when I get to Hot Springs today, I'm going to post this video, so it may be pretty long. It'll go back all the way through the Smokies and cover most of my last 5 days, but hope you enjoy it. Later. Well, after a good long day, I made it all the way to the NOC, the Nantahala Outdoor Center, affectionately known as the NOC. I'm going to try to scratch up a burger here somewhere and run in here and get some items for resupply. Talk later. Well, good morning. Good Monday morning. Beginning of the 8th day on the trail. First day of extended rain. I'm in a little dry spell right now, but I've been hiking in rain for the first, probably half mile or so. Spent the night in the Nantahala Outdoor Center last night, unexpectedly. I hiked 27.3 miles, I think it was, into the NOC. Just decided to keep going, so when I got there, I ordered a pizza at the Trails or River Run restaurant, I think is what it was. Got pizza, and as I was sitting there, a gentleman and a young lady walked up and asked if I had a place to stay, and I said, well, I didn't know if I was considering staying the night or not. And the guy's name, who was Donor, his trail name is Donor because he's a double lung transplant recipient, asked if I wanted to stay with him. He got a cabin with 4 bunks and said he didn't have anybody with him, so I agreed, and we struck up a conversation and talked well into the night, and I just had the best visit, and I was able to help out the little girl that was with him. She lost her wallet, and I was able to help her with a little cash, but the Lord has obviously placed me here for a reason, and I'm trying to help as many people as I can, so, oops, I'm trying not to break my neck at the same time. Got like 31 miles to Fontana. I'm not gonna, no, listen to me saying I'm not gonna do it, like I wasn't gonna do that 33 the other day, but I don't feel like I need to. I'm a little ahead of pace, so there's a big climb. This is a beginning of about an 8-mile climb to the top of Chioa Bald. So I'm just gonna take my time getting up there. Once I get up there, there's a good bit of downhill, so I'll kind of reassess. You know, I don't love hiking in the rain. Most hikers don't. Especially don't like setting up camp in the rain. But, you know, we know it's no pain, no rain, no main. So everybody expects this. Not much else to say. I'll check in later. It's cool. It's starting to feel much nicer. It was hot and muggy when I left camp. Of course, that was probably 500-600 feet in elevation to go. But I'll check in after a while. So let me explain to you why thru hikers sometimes feel like kindergartners. Look at this. I get to play in mud puddles all day. I have been hiking since 6:30 this morning in little bitty rain, big rain, rain that came from side to side, rain that seemed to come up from beneath me, just like Forrest Gump. Yeah, this has been one of those mornings I just haven't had a lot of fun. I'm trying to keep myself hydrated, because you're not really thirsty when it's raining this hard. I'm trying to keep myself nourished. I'm making decent time, I think. I don't really know where I am or how much farther I'm going to go. I'm just hoping that the heaviest rains were supposed to have been this morning, and then with a chance of thunder showers, and it seems like everywhere I turn, there's a new thunder shower. So I've been getting poured on in the last couple of hours. My shorts are soaking wet. I could kick myself. I have a rain kilt, and it's in my pack. But if I take my pack cover off to get my kilt out, everything inside there is going to get wet. Now, I've got it all in dry bags. It's not really a big deal, but I just don't want to go to that trouble. Hoping to find a shelter pretty soon so I can just kind of get in the dry for a little while and reassess things. Although right now, I don't know if there's any point in putting a rain kilt on since my pants are soaking wet anyway, but I might. Spirits are still surprisingly high though. Yeah, the whole concept of eating a bunch of candy for lunch and hiking in puddles just made me feel like a kindergartner all over again. Of course, I never was a kindergartner. We didn't have kindergarten when I was that age. This is the only reason I haven't posted anything today so far is because this is what I've been hiking in. I was so disappointed. I made that big long climb up to Chihuahua Bald, and I was hoping to get a view up there because that's one of the places in North Carolina I've wanted to visit and maybe even do a day hike in, and unfortunately there were no views up there whatsoever. And I expected that. I don't know why I would have expected anything less, being in a storm all day. At any rate, just thought you guys might enjoy seeing what I'm hiking in. Later. Well, that's our first view of the Fontana Lake Dam. I don't know if you can see the dam or not. Yeah, there it is. There's the dam. There's the lake itself. Yep, that means I hiked from the NOC over to Fontana. Oh, another 27. What's wrong with me? I'm gonna give myself a break. I'm gonna get down from here. Check in later. There are several iconic spots along the Appalachian Trail, as you might expect. It's a trail that travels 2,192.2 miles, 2,193.1. Depends upon who you're listening to this year. But this is one of the most iconic, in my opinion. It's Fontana Dam, coming out of Fontana Village, heading into the Smokies. Largest dam, basically east of the Mississippi. It's a TVA dam, Tennessee Valley Authority. That's a, I guess it's an electric cooperative that supplies power throughout the river system, but also controls the flooding potential for most of these rivers as well. This dam was built, I believe, in the 40s or 50s. There's an information sign down there, but I had a little frustrating morning getting here. There's no shuttle. I stayed at the Fontana Lodge yesterday. I had a 0 day there and just kind of chilled. Met a guy named Bain, and had a great time with him. We sat around and talked for about 3 hours. He bought me lunch, and I was grateful for that. More trail magic. I was going to buy his lunch, frankly, but he beat me to the punch. But anyway, As I left this morning, there's no shuttle out of there back over to this area, which is about 3 miles until 9 o'clock. And I desperately wanted to get on my hike. I wanted to get started as early as I could this morning. So I woke up before, kind of sat around for a little while, got on the trail, or got on the road at 5 o'clock after having been given some bad directions. Long story short, I walked about 5 miles to nowhere, only to be shuttled back over to within a half mile of here by a very gracious man that was heading to the marina. So I wasted about 5.5 miles before my hike even started this morning. But learning experience, reminding myself I've got to be more patient. I could have waited for the shuttle at 9 o'clock, saved myself the frustration, apprehension, and wear and tear. You know, that's miles on my body, calories taken from trail miles. I'll show you the dam here. Kind of massive. And this doesn't really give you a good perspective of it, but Fontana Lake is up this year. I've seen it way, way down those banks. I've been over here mountain biking before on the Solly trails, and I've seen those, gosh, the water line down 20 feet. I know these people are grateful. The trail goes right across the Fontana Dam. There's the big power station, power generating station and everything. And then the river continues on that way. I'm surprised it's not flowing heavily this morning, that they're trying to get some water out of this lake. But that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to head up the road here. You have to you have to have a permit to hike in the Smokies. So I'm going to deposit my permit in the box and then head on in the Smokies. The plan before I left this morning was to try to do 25 to 29 today, but after burning that 5 miles to nowhere, I don't know if I'm going to still try to do that. If I can get 20 in, I'll be happy, but I'm not worried about huge miles today. I can pick up bigger miles tomorrow if I need to. Hoping to meet friends somewhere in the Smokies. I've just got to coordinate with them exactly where. So I'll chat later. So this is officially where you deposit your thru hiker permit. You fill out the date that you started, and then you don't want to scare them away. It's my first deer that I could actually capture. This is only the third one that I've seen, believe it or not. Heading up the hill from Fontana. There's a family of bear right in front of me. Right there. That must be the mother. And then the cubs are over here near the trail. Well, good morning from Klingman's Dome. 2 milestones, the 200-mile point, and also the highest point on the AT. A lot of folks around, so I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of video here. This is the tower. I'm going to run to the top and get some views from up there, and I'll be back. Well, great. 0 views. And coming up, I had a perfect view. Well, that's it. So this is a gate to keep the wild hogs out of this protected land. I guess presumably they won't cross, like cattle, they won't cross anything that compromises their hooves. I'm heading toward Newfound Gap. I'm 18.5 miles in or so. It's mid-afternoon. I'm kind of tired, but I don't think I'll go home. Check in later. Well, I'm having lunch at Newfound Gap. This is quite a busy concern. Newfound Gap is right along the highway. It's actually the spot where the North Carolina and Tennessee line join. It's over there. Very popular tourist spot. It's also pretty popular for thru hikers just to kind of stop and kind of snack up and everything as they get ready to go around. Not great views, but you know, not bad. I had to fuel up as much as I could, get rid of my garbage, and get ready to head up. The problem with the gap is, every time you come to a gap, you know you've got to climb ahead of you, so. But, what we're accustomed to. So I'm going to have to hit it pretty hard. I think I've got about 9 more to my final destination. And I'm just not feeling today. Boy, I've been worn out. I think that climb up the back of Kleeman's done. For some reason, I've had harder climbs. For some reason, that one wore me out. I'll check in later. The view from Charlie's Bunyan. Well, good morning from the trail. Haven't checked in. I've been on the trail probably 3 hours or so, but it has been brutally cold and really breezy, so I knew that it probably wouldn't be able to hear me that well. Stayed at the PEX shelter last night. It was cold, but I actually stayed in the shelter. When I got there, my buddy Lando was already there. He already had his hammock set up. There were a couple of tents set up, and the shelter itself was empty, so I thought, my tarp was kind of wet from the night before, so I just slept on top of my sleeping bag, and on top of my backpack and on top of my little seat pad, and actually slept pretty comfortably, so I was surprised. This morning has been a great walk. I spent most of the morning chasing down a young fellow that had lost his hat on the trail, $90 Tilly hat, expensive hat, so I finally found him, got it to him, and he was tickled. But right now, the sun has finally come out. The clouds have lifted. It's been cold. We've hiked through ice and sleet this morning. So let me show you what I'm looking at. I think we just came off of Crosby Knob. I'm not really sure what these peaks are. I'm going to assume we have another 10 or 12 miles, maybe more than that. Let's say 14 because I'm never right about these things. To Standing Indian, which means I'll be out of the Smokies in about 10.5 miles. So I'll check in if there's any other sites, but just wanted to do a little update. Well, I'm afraid the video won't do this justice, but this is absolutely spectacular. One of the best views we've had in the Smokies, other than Charlie's Bunyan, probably. Let me try to slow it down a little bit. Joe and I section hiked this when he was still at Western, and I vividly remember stopping for a break right here on this rock. Jojo, you might remember that. Beautiful day. It's almost 1 o'clock. I'm hoping maybe another 3 hours, 3.5 hours, and I should be out of the Smokies. Good times, though. It's beautiful. Loving it. Thank you, Lord. Well, there it is. Friday afternoon, excuse me for a second, 2:24 p.m. I am exiting the Smokies. So, a little less than 3 days. Pretty sweet. I don't kill myself before I do. And now, that other permit that I have, or the other part of the permit, I will happily deposit in here. Sorry about this. This is kind of a celebratory moment. And in you go. Signifying I'm done. I gotta admit, this morning, gosh, we did that in 24 miles in about 7.5 hours. So, cranking. That was a very, very easy trail. I like to hike that every day. Now it's on to Standing Bear Farm and Hostel to do a little resupply. I'll probably spend the night there too. I've decided I think I'm going to spend the night there. So, checking in later. Well, the Lord is treating me with some extra special beauty. This is kind of the celebration of having come down from the Smokies. This beautiful little stream just flows through this little valley, and it's taking us right down to the Pigeon River, which will be just over there. You can't see it yet. I'll show it to you in a while. This is gorgeous. Thank you, Lord. Well, I envisioned myself. I did this as a southbound section hike from Hot Springs over to I-40 a couple of years ago. Pam came over and picked me up, and I admit I envisioned myself coming down out of the Smokies, triumphant and appreciative, and every single one of those emotions I'm feeling right now. It's kind of cool. The bridge has white blazes on it to remind you, hey, yeah, you are on the AT. So we'll cross under I-40, and then we'll go back up and over the mountain for just a second, and then come back down into little valley there and walk on up to Standing Bear. Here's the Pigeon River, by the way. Isn't it beautiful? Make for some nice rafting. And you can see right on top of the hill is I-40. Traffic passing up there. I'm gonna put this away so I don't get run over by something. But I'll talk later. Well, good morning from the top of Snowbird Mountain. I came out of Standing Bear this morning, Standing Bear Hostel this morning, just after 6. Probably got on the trail about 6:10. Took me nearly 2 hours to climb 4.1 miles. This little mountain was much more steep than I remembered it being. Of course, last time I hiked it southbound. Anyway, we're looking back across at the magnificent Smokies. Look over there. That's what I did over the last 3 days. It was beautiful. Everybody comes up here because you have this federal avionics tower that they use to assist in positioning airplanes or commercial traffic coming into the actual airport. I'm told that they're phasing these out for more sophisticated technology. They'll be a thing of the past, but right now it's still humming along and still functioning properly. My plan today is to get as close to Hot Springs as I want to. I'm gonna go up and over Max Patch. I'll definitely film something from up there. It's cool this morning. Gosh, when I left the valley, it was probably in the high 50s, but I bet it's in the mid 40s up here. Probably about a 2,000 foot climb, so that explains it. But I'll check in later. Well, bolstered, sorry the wind noise is probably gonna be terrible. Bolstered by some of the best trail magic I've had so far. I had trail magic once before today. Today I've had it twice. I had some chocolate cookies earlier this morning from a nice lady walking up the trail. And then when I was almost out of water, literally maybe half an ounce left, we came to a dirt road crossing, and there was a husband and wife there that had sausage biscuits, boiled eggs, donuts, apples, oranges, cookies, water, beer and wine, which I didn't partake of, but just such a blessing from the Lord. My goodness, I so desperately needed it. But that propelled me to the top of Max Patch Mountain. Look at this. This is a bald mountain, about, I don't know, probably 15, 18 miles from Hot Springs. Now you get a full 360 view up here. Back that way, the tallest mountains you see, those are the Smokies. Just came out of those yesterday. It's looking